I speak today about the cost of unacceptable corporate misconduct on WA individuals and families. I'm talking about corporate conduct that has been unethical, harmful and unlawful. Corporate misconduct is allowed to occur and continue because of a lack of regulation by government, in effect. Sometimes government initiatives even exacerbate and encourage corporate misconduct. My role, as I see it, is to expose corporate misconduct for the electors that have come to me. John Winnan is an Afghanistan veteran. You may have seen him in the paper. He's a father of one. He's been waiting 960 days for his house to be built, and the builder is BGC. But there are hundreds of others. Sarah, I'll use the name Sarah from Hammond Park, has just ticked over 1,000 days waiting for her home to be built. And there are other clients who have waited 1,200 days, well over 3 years, for their house to be built by BGC. I don't need to tell you, President, or anyone in the chamber about how that affects them. Obviously, they're paying rent somewhere else, and they're already paying a mortgage on that portion of the house that's been built, and they've drawn down against their mortgage. But obviously, they don't have anywhere to live, so this is the incentive, as we're all aware, on getting the houses completed within the contract time. So, why do I say that there's misconduct by BGC? BGC salespeople were incentivised with promises of new cars, overseas holiday. BGC broke the all-time build sales record in June 2020, so 1,000 new clients in 1 month were signed up to building contracts. So the question is whether they could realistically deliver that within the time frame, and whether they actually knew that they couldn't deliver, so they were effectively signing people up to fail. In that month I mentioned, that was June 2020, the entire contracted sales, if you like, for that month was 2,400. So of that, 1,000 was actually BGC, so somewhere near a half. To achieve sales targets, the selling teams were providing contracts for signing at an initial meeting, pushing the client to sign or miss out on the building bonuses and other perks. When clients voiced their displeasure on social media, the sales teams would find the client's personal phone details and text them, and in some instances calling them liars when the individuals expressed their displeasure at the delays. For John Winnan, BGC delayed providing his building contract until 29 December 2020, 2 days before the stimulus package deadline. This was despite weekly calls to have time to review its terms. He was assured by the sales team that it would be a standard contract and not to worry. So trust us, we're the good guys. I should mention that the sales team that signed up John actually had a house and land package around the corner with BGC, and unsurprisingly, whilst John's waited 960 days and his house is still not completed, the BGC employees' one is well advanced. BGC claims that the delays were out of their control. However, there has been a fair bit of contention about whether it was actually foreseeable. There's evidence to suggest that it was foreseeable that the delays would ensue. The CEO, Daniel Cooper, and Executive General Manager Michael Bardia on the record talking about the impact of the pandemic and build times as early as March 2020. To put it simply, BGC Housing Group was at all times aware that there would be delays to builds, and they signed up a record number of clients in any case on the false promise of a 10 to 12 month building schedule, and we're talking about 3 years now in some instances. The bad parts about this is obviously that they were allowed to take full advantage of the state and federal government stimulus packages. There's also reports of intimidation and effectively threats to withdraw bonuses or discounts if they are taken to the Building Commission and SAT. So you can call that what you want, but it's certainly threatening behaviour. We say the BGC must come to the negotiating table with humility and transparency in order to bring confidence back to thousands of clients without a home more than 3 years after signing. Basically, they're stuck with it, and it has caused a lot of anguish for clients, families out there in the community in the way that BGC is basically operating. The minimum that the government can do would be to protect thousands of vulnerable West Australians preyed upon by the state's largest and slowest builder, BGC. We call for BGC to come to the table and assist those people in hardship.